Hey guys, and welcome back to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now that really, really hard boss fight is out of the way, we can continue on and get the fire seeds for Hagrid. Don't remember this part of the book.
Yeah, because, when I go to a magic school for a witchcraft and wizardry, I'm pretty sure the requirements do not say, alright, you need to clear the lava level, the ice level, and the forest level.
Yeah, that was like an abandoned draft of Philosopher's Stone. And lo, Harry did press the X button, and in doing so, jumped over the river of lava and collected the star to finish the level.
There wasn't even any safety, measures around that lake of fire or whatever. I mean, you would think they'd need a lot of parental signatures, waivers, healthcare notices, whatever. If your arm is blown the fuck up on day one by the stupid idiot in the back of the class, you can't sue the school. And if that's the case, how the hell did he get his uncle and aunt to sign all those waivers? I mean, yeah, Hagrid could have intimidated them, but doesn't that make those contracts no longer legally binding?
Well, different strokes for different magical folks, I guess.
Oh, I thought that was just how shit goes on in the UK.
No, I'd say it's more of a magic people's thing, because obviously, they don't even know what a rubber duck is, so they couldn't give less of a crap about, random streams of magma and lava running through their kids' school.
Yeah, it's just like New York.
Forgot that Ron's dad was doing, months and months of research on the purpose of a rubber duck.
Oh, I love the guy who played him in the movie. Richie, what was his name?
Oh, give me a second, I do know it, but
That's a weird name.
It's that bloke from the Fast Show, I know that much. But every time I try to think of his name, it just vanishes out of my mind.
Mark Williams.
There we go. Fucking love that guy. Right, here's the gimmick for this area. We've got to manipulate the properties of a puffskein by overfeeding them so they fit into these vents here to activate the little geysers to get us up to higher platforms.
God, that thing is horrifying. Hey, Harry.
Right, here's the second part of this. When you shoot a puffskein, it gets smaller and smaller. So, if the second one accidentally eats something, just shoot it and it will get smaller.
That's not how you should be treating your pets. You should be taking better care. Don't overfeed. Don't abuse. Love. Love is all you need with your pets.
Well, I don't know if this is just the PS1 graphics talking, but that's more a tuber than a pet, really.
I've always wondered what that creature's ass looked like. Thank you for that back there.
Only the best from HFC, mate. Oh god, let me out! Every second is unbearable agony.
It's almost like the school was designed by a video game creator.
How hard did that lever hit the ground if it could create a shockwave?
This feels like a God of War level.
I have to wonder how Harry was able to kind of move that lever, because it looked really bloody heavy, especially considering it created a blooming shockwave, and he had to jump out of the way to avoid getting smashed by it.
Richie. Magic.
It's true, yeah.
Sorry, I cast Stupefy on him, so he just basically repeated my shitty joke.
Oh, I love that song.
This is the video game trademark sequence right here.
I love all the whimsical music for fucking platforming. Do 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 do. Got this from Mario. Do do.
Do Yahoo!
It's kind of weird, too, that the music is pretty sparse in this game. You couldn't tell because we were talking so much in part 1, but music doesn't really start playing in the gameplay section for, 6 minutes. It takes a while, and there's a lot of dead air areas in this game, so when music does randomly show up, it's really jarring, oh shit, yeah, I forgot that it was quiet here for a while.
And don't forget, I am emulating this, so there are bound to be some errors here or there. I'll point one out when we get to the Forbidden Woods section later on, but yeah, very ambient kind of game, and I think I appreciated stuff like that back in the day. Medieval, especially, another PS1 game, was good for ambience.
Yes.
Well, from what Wikipedia is telling me, the game only has 18 songs, and you can actually buy the soundtrack digitally, which is bonkers.
I'm good.
But also, apparently, the guy who composed the music, Jeremy Soule, wrote the score before he heard what John Williams had written for the film.
I don't believe that at all.
So, it has original themes, and that's why kind of the main theme doesn't really turn up.
Well, that makes sense, yeah, because it doesn't use that really iconic, well, at least for me, the Harry Potter theme.
Yeah, it doesn't use the do 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 do.
Here's the tricky incendio sequence I was talking about.
It's triangle, dude.
Wrong. Stop it.
Oh, well, I guess I'll give up my spoils.
I just wanted to add, like, again, you know, since this is on the PS1, I still love the shitty, like, it's clearly corridors, but they tried so hard to make the corridors look like trees. I mean, yeah, you have graphical limitations, and I think it gives it this own cool little retro charm, personally. I just love it.
Yeah, I think this is my, like, second favourite generation of, like, hardware, and, like, the first one would be, like, the PS2 GameCube era. I cut out the backtracking, by the way, because it was just the same thing, but in reverse.
Well done.
And that is definitely one thing I liked about the PlayStation 1 era, was that with the hardware limitations came ingenuity, which is the case with a lot of artwork. And, I mean, you look at Silent Hill, there's fog all over the goddamn place, and it builds a lot of ambience, a lot of atmosphere, but the reason they put it on was because they had no draw distance. And so with this, it's like, with the limitations, they didn't just lazily be like, oh, well, we gotta make this quarter. Like Helldragon said, they tried really hard to disguise all of their limitations, and in doing so, it creates a charm for all these games and for the entire generation.
Yeah, I really agree with that, because, like, you know, these days it's so easy to make, like, the areas we want to express visually, but back then, you know, they had to work within those limitations, and I've always found in a lot of things that, you know, the more limitations you have on your creativity, the more creative, the more original your work becomes. And that's one big reason why I really like retro stuff, was because they had to work around all that to create something really good. These days, you know, it's phoned in my opinion.
Okay, I can't let this sequence pass without pointing out that Hagrid has a picture of Dumbledore on his wall.
Dumbledore? Well, why wouldn't you? I got one in my room. I love you.
I think Dumbledore loves you. I don't know. Was that a rumor? Was that confirmed? I think it was.
That was confirmed that he was gay, yes. That was something that was confirmed, and there was kind of no real need for it to kind of happen. Like, it's really awesome, but it just... I just remember J.K. Rowling kind of revealing it out of nowhere, and then everyone was just like, okay.
Yeah, well, it adds a layer to his backstory, because what happened was, like, he met up with a dude, and if you just read the story without the information, because it's not explicitly set in the game, or even in the books, if you read his backstory without that, then you just get this level of they were really, really good friends, but then you can throw in that, oh, Dumbledore actually loved this guy. And what happens is that the guy was bad, he wanted to kill Muggleborns or whatever, so Dumbledore was almost a racist, didn't go all the way through, because what happened was Dumbledore accidentally killed his sister. And then he became... Yeah, Dumbledore accidentally killed his sister, and so he was like, wow, maybe hating Muggleborns isn't a good thing. Maybe I should be cool. And he became cool.
Technically, it's never outright stated who killed. I think...
Yeah, it was between him and his brother were fighting, and she got in between to stop the two from fighting, and she got caught in a blast or whatever.
Caught in the crossfire?
Crossfire!
You'll get caught up in it. But, yeah, Albus was gay for Grindelwald, by the way, that dude you were talking about, one of the greatest dark wizards before Voldemort's time.
Thank you. I told you, I don't know names, it's just that guy, the other guy. I know people based on their relations to each other, not by their names.
Yeah, we have Helldragon, the loud one, Richie the smart one, and Tom, the annoying, fat, obnoxious one.
Don't worry, if you're anything like Neville, you'll blossom into a beautiful butterfly man.
15 years is still fucking counting, mate.
Hello, Harry, it's the same fucking thing you've already done. Aren't you glad there's a ton of this?
When does the giant foot show up and squish him?
Monty Python's Flying Circus!
To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this entire sequence was just some sort of weird Monty Python in-joke, due to the fact of sort of just being completely redundant.
And making no goddamn sense?
Yeah.
I have to say, I love the guy who plays Nearly Headless, Nick here. He gets most of John Cleese's mannerisms down, but there's one bit, I think it's when you were doing the Filipino training, where he's just like, you'll do this thing? Yes?
Yes.
You can sell this one for like $500 on eBay, especially the hollow foil version. It's just fantastic.
Alright, double prizes.
Harry Potter confirmed scalper.
And he bought 200 of the same card, and now he won't sell them to anybody.
No, what happened was he bought 200 of the card he hates.
Morgan Le Fay, totally hentai.
Arthurian reference.
Yes, go on, Richie, I know you want to squee.
Well, just Morgan Le Fay, Merlin. It's all awesome.
Well, don't just stop there. Tell us.
So Morgan Le Fay, it varies depending on the text. She's either like Arthur's sister, or I think, Arthur's sister, or some relation to Arthur, because she is Gawain's aunt. And in some kind of texts, she's just a bit of a cow. And in some places, she's actually evil. And it varies between what she actually does. But pretty awesome. And I think in some things, she's the one who leads Arthur to Avalon when he's kind of injured by Mordred, and there's all that. But it gets ridiculously complicated and convoluted because there's just so many Arthurian texts out there.
Right, I'm going to take this in a completely different direction, same subject. If you want to learn about, like, Arthurian lore, or just lore in general, watch Gargoyles. Gargoyles is fucking awesome for that stuff.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that some of that is actually fictitious. I'm pretty sure they didn't have robots. Just gonna say that.
That's like saying, yo, if you're really super interested in Mesoamerican religion, play Shin Megami Tensei. It's totally exactly how it rolls.
Or if you want to learn about Egyptian mythology, watch Mummies Alive, and there's that fucking portrait again.
Square to bash. Square to bash. Oh, I really don't want to be in this game, but I guess I have to make do. Oh, that hurts. Stop it.
If you got the Nimbus upgrade, this is a piece of piss, really. Otherwise, I don't know, because it's been so long since I played this section without the upgrade.
My broom is riding up my bum.
All that waiting I did for Potter really chafed me.
Why was I waiting at all? This isn't how you bully someone.
My father will hear of this.
His father has the life bar twice as long and the portrait is twice as ugly.
This whole thing is reminding me of a Harry Potter musical. I don't know whether you guys have seen it at all.
Isn't that where Harry's played by a chick?
No, that's where Draco is played by a chick.
Yes!
Wonderfully, it's the best thing ever. Because if ever you've heard anybody joke about going to pig farts, that's where it's from.
Look at that skybox.
Look at those 2D trees.
No, guys, those are magical 2D trees. It's like you go through Hogwarts, like, what's that? It's like, some magical creature, what's that? Enchanted candles, what's that? A doorknob. Oh my god.
Truly magical.
You've got my rememberall back. Thanks, Harry.
Neville, I'm going to give you a tip for the future. It's called a notepad. You may want to use this to remember stuff, just like us muggles do. Just going to throw that out there.
What would happen if they incorporated modern technology, like everyone in Hogwarts has iPhones?
What he didn't know is, well, that wasn't the rememberall at all. It was a hand grenade. That's why it was flashing.
What the fuck? Yeah.
And that explosion activated puberty, and thus Neville did blossom.
And thus Neville became gorgeous.
Also, we have not Dame Maggie Smith.
I've always loved her rationale for not punching Harry. You're not allowed to fly on a broomstick, but Malfoy's a little shit, so I guess you're in.
Again, student favoritism. If I was a Slytherin in real life and got treated like this at school, I'd be a prick too, to literally everyone.
Wait, didn't they establish James Potter as exactly that? Like, basically Harry Potter, but he became a prick, basically, and that's why Snape kind of, got mad with him? Yeah, okay, I'm remembering that now, it's been a bit.
It's that he was a prick and then he became not a prick in later years, and that's why Lily fell in love with him.
Yeah, but in doing so, falling in love spelled the doom for everyone. Way to go, Lily!
Look at that fucking face.
Hagrid, your face.
What's wrong with your visage?
Too much of it, too long of an interval. Okay, guys, it's time for our first Quidditch match. Are you hype?
No, because you could just play the Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup game, and I'm sure it'd be much better.
Thank you, I was going to bring that up. I always wanted to try that, but never got around to it. Has anyone here played the game?
No.
I think I might have done. I think a friend might have had it, or I've seen somebody play it.
Sorry, I was playing good games like Digimon Rumble Arena.
Oh, Digimon Rumble Arena.
I actually really like the guy who played Lee Jordan in the movie. I thought for some reason, he fit the character pretty well. I don't know why.
I liked him because pop! Oh, come on, none of you guys watch Community.
No.
Get the fuck out! Oh! People in the comments back me up here.
And since we're recording this right now, as opposed to when this episode goes on YouTube, that comment is actually really weird. Hey, Harry, you're not supposed to smoke during this.
Potter's seen the snitch.
He's going for it.
Is this just a whole cutscene?
Really? Oh, good gameplay.
Yeah, it eventually segued into an actual game.
Over here, stupid. That's what the rings are basically like. Hey, up here.
Now, you can actually fail this, I believe, if you get hit by too many bludgers, so watch out for those. Don't take too many of those in the face.
You remember the part of the book where Harry just got hit by a bludger like 40 times and just completely fucked it up?
And then the movie just stopped and went to a game over screen and Harry had to reload his save.
Yeah, those responsible have been sacked.
So, okay, these towery thingies that they're watching the match through, are those inspired by something in real life, or...?
They strike me as, sorry, I had to think for a little bit there, and it takes a while. They strike me as those things that people, well, nobility, I guess, watch jousting matches from.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the closest influence that there is. Although it seems like a really, really terrible design choice for watching Quidditch, because obviously you may get hit in the head by a bludger. At least if you were watching jousting, they were just kind of nice and contained on the kind of straight where they ran the horses, and they weren't exactly likely to come careening into you. Whereas here...
Unless the guy flew off his horse and impaled the kid.
I'm just saying, these look like a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if the first story of one of these towers just, starts to burn? Everyone on top is fucked.
Pretty much.
And they don't seem like they sit a lot of people. Like, wasn't the entire school supposed to show up for these matches? And it just looks like 10 classes are chilling.
Well, a single, texture that evolves into, 12 people per stand when you get close.
Snape is like, oh well, Quidditch is okay, but I much prefer my fantasy Quidditch online game.
Well, excuse you, but Snape is actually doing some anti-hexing during all that, so he's kind of busy, bro.
Yes, I know, MBM. I have read that book, believe it or not.
Mr. Potter, remember my name. It's Professor Snape. And I know all about you, boy. Is that a library book in your grimy little hand? Library books, by definition, are not...
By definition, I was supposed to be Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher class, but they shit me in the back with the potions and the other Slytherins down in the hole they call the dungeon. I hope you feel better about yourself, Mr. Potter.
I just overtly bitter Snape.
I thought that by definition, library books meant that you could check them out of the library.
Exactly! That's what I was about to bring up. It's like, you would only not be able to take a book out of a library if it was, reference only, or one of those really rare manuscripts.
It means absolutely nothing. You never really get the book back, and you can't even, peruse it and the like, so just ignore
But
it,
what
I
you
guess.
don't know is that the code to beat the game was in that book.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Let's look at the code for the game. Up, up, down, down, left, right, cross.
Cross?
I love this. The most British sounding spell ever. Alohomora.
Isn't that a Pokemon?
A Lomomola, that is.
Yeah, it is.
Remarkably similar, but not quite.
And oddly enough, not an evolution of Love Disc.
I know! Why?
Well, Helldragon and I have already covered this enough, so let's move hastily on, I guess, and find
Clearly
that...
you haven't covered enough because people aren't happy.
Let's find that sloth brain, shall we?
Does Ron have a symbol on his chest that says R for Ron? Is he Super Ron right now? That's what it looked like.
It's because of the jumper that he's got. Yeah.
His mommy knit stuff.
Yeah.
Well, would that imply that it was Christmas at the start of the game, or am I looking too into this?
It's last year's Christmas jumper.
Yeah.
Of course it is, it's the Weasleys.
Be sure to drink strange potions you find on the ground.
Hey, this is the Wiggenweld potion, and if you've played the GBC game, the RPG, you'll know that everyone swears by Wiggenweld potions.
I thought you were going to say that everyone swears. It's like, holy shit, we're playing the wrong game.
Fucking hell, Harry, it's fucking Voldemort.
You twat bag.
You pushed me over the fucking line.
You better stop starting, Potter. Stop stopping.
This is the venomous tentacular. Do you agree now that that guy deserves to be on a card for eating one of these things?
Psh, I could eat the same thing, just need some barbecue sauce.
Well, I mean, I'd say he should be there for managing to eat it, but he's an absolute idiot for attempting to. So, he should probably be just excised from that Great Wizards thing for sheer stupidity alone.
It should be the second edition deck. The second edition deck. First is the famous wizards and witches. The secondary deck is the fucking stupid witches and wizards deck.
So I like how you killed that monster, a monster they were clearly keeping on the castle grounds for no doubt some, spell or research purposes, but, you killed it so you get house points, okay.
Yeah, I think Professor Sprout is gonna be pissed.
Who cares what she says? Dumbledore says it's okay. Seriously, Dumbledore is like the school dictator. There is no committee, there is no vote for anything, it's what Dumbledore says goes. Suck it.
Like, hey, Dumbledore, you mind if I go to 7-Eleven? I'll pick you up some smokes. 10 house points to Gryffindor.
It's like, I bet you if Harry, Ron, and Hermione all decided to smoke some doobies with Dumbledore, he would award them all like 420 points.
Funny. Drug jokes. Hilarious.
Ah, he said hi!
Good fun to throw around, Hagrid.
I'm gonna sign each of these so you know who wrote them. Hagrid.
10 students died here. Watch out, Hagrid.
If you can find the correct patch they're buried under, you will get a famous Witches and Wizards card. Hagrid.
I've always felt alone, Hagrid.
You're a wizard, Harry. Hagrid.
Do you think he signs them for himself so that he remembers he wrote them? It's like, wait, who put this sign here? Oh.
Better make sure it's not written by Voldemort or something.
It's like Voldemort crossed out Hagrid.
Okay, we've hit the limit for blue beans here, but like I said earlier, they give you like a few extras, so I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Maybe I just didn't inspect these guys enough.
And those guys being...
The mushrooms back there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just moving mushrooms is just another normal thing in the Harry Potter universe.
They got a lot better with making magical creatures later on in the series, like those skeleton horses that only people who have seen death can see. Those are badass. Instead, it's like, oh, it's a mushroom. Cool. But it's bigger. Okay?
Sorry, I thought you were actually talking about the single sloth brain there. That's not magical. It's not magical at all.
I like how they kept it out in the open like that, and it looked less like a sloth brain and more like a giant sloth testicle.
Ew.
How do you know it's not one and the same?
Ew, it's in a jar and everything.
Well, I looked up their Harry Potter wiki, that's how I know.
Just bringing it back to those death horses thing that we got brought up there.
Hermione's gonna kill us in the dungeons, isn't she?
Probably.
Yeah, you gotta speak quicker, Richie, because obviously if Helldragon hears silence, he's gonna talk.
It's true, yeah.
Also, if he hears dungeons, he's gonna talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, the really weird thing is that in like the earlier films, they don't exist and they only turn up when Luna appears. And she says, if you've seen death, you see them. And yet they're shown to be kind of drawing all of the cars and carts and stuff. So how on earth did Harry not see them before? And how on earth did Neville not see them before?
Continuity!
It was a particular death that kicked it off, I believe.
Ah.
Isn't that when Hagrid got, like, more or less authority? So I know there was a change in, like, who is the groundskeeper and shit, so... Because Hagrid was busy dealing with big dogs, dragons, other legal shit.
Ravenclaw, step it up.
Gryffindor are in the lead on house points.
Yo, suck it, Gryffindor for life!
Yay.wave.
Well, I mean, considering he is the based speedrunner, he kind of has to win everything.
Gotta go fast.
Unless it involves Sonic, of course.
Yeah, then I'm screwed and I just lose. Terribly.
And this is a long part.
Yeah, just a bit. Thankfully, I think you said that this is the longest part, so we should be fine as long as we fill it with hysterical laughter.
That's not gonna be happening, no.
I kind of shot my load in part 2, so I'm kind of all out of energy now.
Also, how long, speaking of loads, how long do you think a sloth brain testicle lasts in a jar outside of a fridge? Like, is there a point where it starts to rot? Get smelly?
Magical school atmosphere.
Oh.
F is for Fred.
G is for the guy with only one ear.
Here's a sloth brain. Maybe this will help you with your kitten. Oh, well, alright.
Like, here, forget all about the kitten. I got your new pet right here.
Don't worry, we'll look after Raymond and his cat when we go down into the dungeons. And that is a card you can miss, so be on the ball.
Well, you can't just leave a cat down a well. You've got to be the hero. Save everybody and everything.
Why can't you Wingardium Leviosa out of the well?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. No, I won't give anything away.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, just look down and be, bam! Do your sexy pose and then pull it out. That's how I deal with all my problems.
That is indeed the correct password. I guess I'll have to open up for you now.
We should have standards for this kind of thing, but I guess not.
That's way too passive-aggressive for a portrait. Like, well, I guess I got open. Well, yeah, it's sort of the whole reason you exist.
Well, I have to say, these are all incredibly terrible portraits. Like, I have seen far better in just looking at general paintings. Have also seen far worse, though, so that's slightly terrifying.
The most bitchin' famous witches and wizards card of all time, Albus Dumbledore, a shiny, an ultra rare, a super mega giga rare.
Oh man, you can only pull like one Albus Dumbledore out of every 250 packs, man. You should see the prices this guy goes for.
He's banned from competitive play, you know.
Well, yeah, but it really depends on the format.
Famous for his defeat of the dark wizard Grindelwald.
It's card 101, look at it. I'm just getting Wonderful 101 flashbacks now.
Of course you are, Richie. Okay, guys, we shall see you next time for another installment of the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone playthrough. See you then.